just seem to never escape from Spongebob Squarepants. Do I? No. No. Today's fanfic, Candward. Oh boy! Not only is it a Spongebob Squarepants fanfic, and not only is it a crossover, it is officially a crack fanfic. Or crackfic, whatever they call it. Yeah, and seeing someone requested this, I have no choice but to read it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The author is Spongy444. It's rated T, it's in English, it's humor romance, it's Squidward and Candace, and it has 7 reviews. At least it's rated T. So it won't be like the last Spongebob Squarepants fanfic with the lovely stuff that happened in there. Yes, the fanfic that I couldn't even finish reading, that's how much it pissed me off. The fanfic that caused me a lot of suffering. So, I hope this will be better than that one. Author's note. Okay, this is very different from what I usually do. For one, it's a crack fic that supports a crack pairing. It's sick and wrong in every way, shape, and form. It's not to be taken seriously in any way. If you're offended at all by this, and I know you are, then repeat to yourself, it's just a fic. I should really just relax. So grab yourself some brain bleach and let's get started. Honey, fanfics have driven me bonkers. So I can't just tell myself it's just a fix, I should really relax, because that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Let's begin. It had finally happened. After all these years, it had finally happened. Squidward Tentacles, the resident butt monkey of Bikini Bottom, had finally left. For good. Ever since he moved there, he had been tortured 24/7 by his annoying neighbors, Spongebob Squarepants, and his bottom feeder buddy, Patrick Star. Many times in the past he tried to leave, like the time he made SpongeBob think it was opposite day, or the time he moved to a town full of octopi like him. But this time he meant it. After a horrifying experience, too horrifying to explain even, he'd had it. He was leaving forever. He didn't tell SpongeBob since he knew that the sycophant Sponge would try to get him to stay. It was no use though, he had already left. However, he wasn't leaving the city. He was leaving the sea. The night before, he snuck into Sandy's tree dome. Quickly, he stole her escape hatch and a spare copy of her newest invention, which would help him breathe without a water helmet. He listened to the Sponge's aimless, energetic ramblings for once and learned that it was well tested, ran perfectly, and just needed to be a little smaller, maybe like a headset. He was now walking down the side of a minor highway. No one was amazed at the sight of an octopus walking around except for a few young children. The adults assumed that it was just a costume. To them, he thought, there really wasn't an octopus over there with only 6 tentacles and no pants. That would be silly. He carried Sandy's breathing machine on his back, which also made him the same size as a human. Unfortunately, the machine could only make him as tall as a 15-year-old. There probably wasn't much of a need to make yourself any bigger. He shrugged as he thought, and kept walking. Eventually, he saw a sign reading, "Welcome to Danville." Squidward grinned and looked down. Well, it seems like an okay place. Okay, that sounded nothing like him. I'm not going to voice act, sorry. Squidward said to himself, "At least it looks better than Bikini Bottom." He looked up at the sign and started walking again. A few hours later, Squidward was tired from his long journey. He wiped the sweat off his head and looked forward to find a decent-looking place to stay. Squidward walked up to it and knocked on the door. A few minutes later, someone came out. A little boy. Squidward looked down and saw that his head was shaped like a triangle. Ouch. He'd seen weirder people. Hello, sir. My name is..." He hesitated. He didn't want people to know he was really an octopus. "Roger. Hi, Roger." How'd he come up with Roger? No one knows, except for the beta reader. Ah, shoot. Am I becoming a beta reader? and I'm looking for a place to stay. I'm a little, homeless right now, he told the boy. Oh, Roger, 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 it's sad that you're homeless and all. I'd love to have you here, but I'd have to ask my parents when they got home. He said, my name is Phineas, by the way. They're not home? Do they allow strangers? Squidward said, all right, who is it, Phineas? A girl from inside the house yelled. It's a homeless octopus, yelled Phineas. Wait, I'm not in... Squidward was cut off by Phineas tapping him on the wrist. It's okay, really. I can tell you're not some guy in a really cheap octopus costume with 6 legs. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me and maybe some of my friends. Phineas told him. Okay, you don't find it weird that a homeless talking octopus is at your door? Asked Squidward. Well, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing that's happened to me. Squidward followed Phineas into his house. The first thing he was something sitting on the couch, his eyes wide when he saw. She was absolutely gorgeous. In his humble opinion, she had bright orange hair, a long neck, and blue eyes. Candace, this is Roger. He's an octopus. Phineas told Candace, You're taking in a homeless talking octopus? Not only does that make no sense whatsoever, but it's also totally wrong. You guys are so busted. Candace threw up her arms in total confusion. It's not that wrong to take him in. I mean, I don't have any weapons or anything, and it's not like I'm going to squirt ink all over things, Squidward told Candace. Well, I don't know. I guess you're right. Welcome to our home, but if I see a single drop on any of my stuff, you're going right back onto the street, she warned Squidward. I probably won't, he assured Candace. Come on, let me show you to the guest room, Phineas told Squidward. Later that day, Squidward got bored and decided to find something to do. He was walking by Candace's room when he overheard her talking on the phone. Oh, Stacy, it's hopeless. I'll never be able to bust my annoying brothers. Yes, they are annoying. Yes, I'm telling you stuff you already know, but seriously, they do all this crazy stuff and get away with it, she said. Okay, go ahead. Talk to you later. She set the phone down and stretched as Squidward walked in. Hello? Squidward said. Oh, it's you, Roger. What are you doing here? Well, I couldn't help but hear your predicament. I think we have a lot in common, he said. Please. Like what? She rolled her eyes. Well, for one, before I left the place I lived before, I lived with people exactly like that. They always do these crazy things, and the worst part is that they never get punished for it. Squidward folded his arms and leaned against the door frame. Hey, I have the same problem with my brothers, she said, shrugging. Maybe we're not so different after all. You know, you're kind of cute for a human, he told Candace. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you don't look too bad yourself, she replied. Thanks, I try. Squidward ran his left hand along the top of his head. So do I, Candace said, giggling. Then, out of nowhere, Candace leaned forward and kissed Squidward. He didn't try to stop her as they kept kissing. Squidward finally stepped back when she pulled off. That was wonderful, he finally said. It's always good to get intimate with your sushi, isn't it? Thanks, Roger. Call me Squidward. Who? Tonsil Honky Go Candace, said Phineas, who was watching them. Phineas, how long have you been standing there? Candace yelled. I just got here. I saw you with Squidward and wanted to know what you guys were talking about, Phineas lied. Nothing you would want to know. Well, I'm going to take a nap. Bye, Squidward. I mean Roger, she said as she left. I'm going to my bunk. I mean room, Squidward said. He then retreated to his room, leaving Phineas and Ferb standing there. So Candace was kissing a homeless talking octopus. Cool. Let's go, Ferb. Ferb finally opened his mouth and said, that was disturbing. And that was that. The end. You know, for a crack fic, I was kind of disappointed. I was expecting something different. But then again, I should be grateful that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be because, well, we all know what happens when I read a really bad fanfic. Yeah. But as a crack fic, it was okay. As a normal fanfic, it was okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's not much to say about it. There really isn't. I mean, it's just a bizarre crossover, SpongeBob and Phineas and Ferb. Doesn't make much sense. And it didn't make sense that the thing that Sandy invented would make Squidward the size of a human. I don't know. And Squidward is supposed to be an adult. I mean, he's only supposed to be the size of like a 15-year-old, but he's supposed to be an adult. So it's kind of creepy that he has a thing for a teenage girl, you know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. Well, I'm the fanfic critic. I read it, you listen, and I need a drink of water.